Yes.
You down here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, my dad just came in the basement. Let's say by the end of 2020, let's say by the end of 2021, right here. Is it possible? Maybe. Yeah, taking a look. That looks pretty soon. Let's say by 2023. Yeah, I'd say so. And by then, if you look where it is, so that 100,000 would actually be kind of the lower end of that red range. Let's switch this guy back on. Now, it might be slightly different, differently drawn. Yeah, I don't like that, actually. I don't think it's going to go that high. It's going to be somewhere around that range, around 100,000. Now, there's some people that think it's going to be 150,000. Some people that think it's going to go to 70,000. No one knows until we get there. Now, you might see things online saying it's going to be $1 million Bitcoin. Oh, it's going to be a $500,000 Bitcoin. Not this round. What people think is going to happen. So it's going to go from here and eventually peak, let's say at 10,000 here. And then it's going to go back down and go to another cycle. And eventually, in like 2029 or 2028, eventually get all the way up to 1 million. Okay, that's next cycle. So by the end of the decade, $1 million Bitcoin. But so why wouldn't you just buy and hold till the end of the decade? Well, it's better to buy now, sell when it peaks or close as you can to the peak, and then wait till another point down to here, and then you can invest again. Because take a look. From the peak to the bottom, went down 86%. Holy shit. How about the last one? Here to the bottom, 83%. Holy shit. From here, the peak to the very top to the bottom, 93%. Jesus. Okay, so please, if you invest your money, don't hold on to it forever. At some point, you need to get out of it. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. How am I doing for time? I'm 16 minutes in. Okay, I try to speed it up here. All right, next we're talking about volatility. Now, this shit is crazy. Think about stocks and Shopify going up, 5% a day. That's nothing. So if we go to the daily, back to auto. This is February into March when the stock market crashed. This shit in one day dropped 38%. That's crazy. But this thing can pump down and it can also pump up. So last week, what did it do? In a period of a few days, 30% in 12 days. Okay? Oh, this in just one day. In one day, it went up 13%. It's crazy, okay? It goes up and down all the time. It pumps up, it pumps down. You can't look at it and go, oh my God, it's down 10%. I'm going to, I gotta sell. Because what do you think? Let's say you bought here, okay? Let's say you bought up here, okay? And the market crashed and you went down here and you were like, oh my God, Bitcoin's going to zero. I gotta sell right now. You would have missed out. Look, if you would have waited freaking 2-3 months, it was right back at the same price. And from the bottom, let's say here, to where we are now, you're up 140% in 6 months, half a year, 140%. Okay? So, if you buy, you can't look at it every day. Yes, I mean, ideally you want to buy it down here or buy it down here. But we're here. Is it going to go down? If the stock market crashes again, I think the price will come down. I think even if the stock market doesn't crash, I think we're due for a little bit of a pullback. But to me, I think I'm going to feel silly if it goes up to 16. It's at 12,000 now. If it goes up to 16, well, I just lost out on how much gain? On like 36% gain, right? And let's say I invest now and it goes down to back to like 8,000, lost 30%. Well, then I might put more in, because I'm going to show you, you have to think long term. You have to think about the peak. So if we zoom in here, and this actually kind of looks like what we're going through right now. Sorry for the jumpiness around. Okay. This is what Bitcoin does. It goes consolidating, pumps, consolidating, pumps, consolidate, drops a little bit. So let's say you bought here and you're like, this is the time it's going up. Okay. You bought here at 769 and then you watched it go down 37%. Right? What are you going to do? In your mind, you're like, Jesus Christ, what am I doing? I'm going to sell. Sell. You sell everything, right? Because that's what might happen. If it goes from 12,000 down to 9,000, right? 30%. You can't get hung up on that, because look, that is just a blip in the radar. That little bit here, it's just a blip in the radar compared to all the gains that you're going to have. Let's look at a few more. Look at this one. Down 30%. How about the next one? Let me guess. 26%. How about this one? We're actually, you're really cooking there, right? 36%. 34%. Right? You can't panic. You can't, because if you buy down here, look at these peaks. This was at 3,000. Imagine if you would have sold at 3. If you would have sold down here at 2,000, right? You panicked and saw it go from 3,000 to 2,000, panicked, and missed out on it going to $20,000. Like, it's crazy. Okay, now, how do you know when to take out your money? Well, good question. When it starts doing shit like this, where it's like do, right? And then it goes, oh, I'm going to go up 15% in one day. Oh, that wasn't enough. I'm going to go up 22% in one day. In 2 days. 2 days, it went up 43%. That's crazy, right? Which makes it very hard to time the top, right? It took from this day to this day, 12 days, 2 weeks, went up 64%. 64%. You could have over doubled your money if you would have waited patiently for it to go to the top, but you don't know when the top is, right? How do you know when to get out? So this is what you do. You start taking your money off as you go. So if in this example, you don't know how high it's going to go, you start taking your money out. You say, oh, okay, at 10,000, we're going to take off 10%. Then at 14,000, we're going to take off another 10%. You start taking your chips off the table. And if, let's say, there's a dip, right? If you've taken some money out here and then there's a dip, right? If you think it's a dip and it starts going back up, you could put your money back in and hopefully it keeps going up. But hard to time the top. That's why don't watch YouTube, because people will make crazy predictions and say, oh, it's going to go up to $200,000. Okay, well, it might, but it might not. And if you're what we call a bag holder and just keep holding and holding and holding, you're just gonna keep losing money. You're gonna have made a bunch and you're gonna just be on the wrong side of it. So please sell. Don't hold it forever. The other thing you got to keep in mind at these times, the exchanges are going crazy because there's so many people trying to buy and sell at once. There's stories of people trying to get out as it's coming down, and it's just error. So another reason you gotta buy on your way up. What else? That was volatility. Talked about trading. How to pick the bottom. We went through that already. Wait till it's in the green, till it goes down 40%. You know what I mean? I'm going to be watching these charts as well as keep an eye on